Now we must deal with the crank disc, and I will zoom in a little bit like so. As you can see, the crank disc is on the wrong side of the bearing bracket, and that's because the bearing bracket is in the right place. We will move the crank disc. We select the crank disc and turn on the triball, and then we will right click on the center handle to center point of that hole, and then we right drag this handle, and we drop it there, click on move and change the distance to 7 millimeters, click OK, and that's OK for now. We probably will have to change the distance later, but we turn off the triball. Then we will make a hole in this crank disc. We left drag an H cylinder and drop it in the center of the disc, and then we double click on this handle to change the diameter to 5 millimeter. Click OK, and then we will adjust the depth of the hole. Left drag and press the shift key and snap to this face. Select the crank disc so that we are in IntelliShape mode, and then we double click on this handle. We will change the thickness 5 millimeter. OK, and then we double click on this handle to change the diameter to 30. Click OK. Well, I think it looks good. It's OK for now, and then we will save. Click on save. And now we will deal with the bearing holder, and when the holder is selected, we right click on it, and then we click on hide unselected. Then we see only the bearing holder, and I will also change the target camera so we can orbit around that point. And now we click on the part so that we are in IntelliShape mode, and double click on this handle, and we change the value to 12. OK, and we also double click on this handle to change the diameter to 28. And now we will do a chamfer. Click on chamfer command, and the distance, the chamfer distance will be 5 millimeters. We do a chamfer on that edge, and then we click OK. Well, it looks good. Then we will make a hole in the center of the holder for a bushing, and bushing on that side too. So we left drag an H cylinder, drop it in the center, then we double click on this handle to change the diameter. We change it to 12, and we will also change the depth of the hole. Double click on this handle and type 5. So, and we do the same on the other side. Left drag an H cylinder, drop it in the center. We double click on the diameter handle, change it to 12. OK, and then the depth, double click, and 5, and OK. And then we drag another H cylinder, drop it in the center of that hole, change the diameter to, double click, and 5 millimeters. And let's see now. I will select that hole, so, and we will change the depth of that hole. We will left drag this handle, press the shift key, and snap it to that face. Now we have a hole through the holder, and we select the holder, and in the property browser and the username we type bearing holder, enter, copy, and we will paste it in description, and part number will be 107. And then we will change the color. We go to the color box and we select this gray color. When we are at it, we will do 2 bushings, and I will rotate the camera a little bit like so, and we'll right drag a cylinder, drop it in the center of that hole, and we click drop as part. And now we will change the diameter, and we know that the hole was 12 millimeters. We double click on that handle, type 12, and the depth of that hole was 5 millimeters. We double click on this handle, type 5. OK, now the bushing will fit in that hole, and before we move it to the right place we will make a hole in the bushing, and we right drag a H cylinder, drop it in the center, change the diameter to 5, and we also change the depth, left drag shift key and drop it on that edge, so, and then we select it, turn on the tri-ball, and then we right click on this orientation handle and reverse, and the bushing is in place. And when the tri-ball is activated, we will rotate the camera so we see the other side of the holder. Then we right drag the center handle on the tri-ball and we drop it in the center of that hole. You see the green dot, drop it, and we click link here, one link, yes, okay, turn off the tri-ball, we select this bushing, turn on the tri-ball, and then we right click on this orientation handle and click reverse, and that bushing is also in place. Turn off the tri-ball, so, and we select this bushing and we will name it, username, we type bushing, so, and we press enter, copy, and we paste the description. The part number will be 123, press enter, and because we linked the bushing, the other bushing has the same information, as you can see. So that's a good way to do it. And then we right click in the scene and we click on show all, so we can see all parts we have made, and then we will move this bearing holder and the bushings, and we try to select that bushing. Let's see now, it's not so easy, very narrow, that shift click on that one and shift click on that bushing, and we turn on the tri-ball, and we see that the tri-ball are attached on that side. We have to move it. We press the space bar, right click on the center handle, click on to center point of that hole, press the space bar to attach the tri-ball, and then we right click on the center handle to center point and to center point of that hole. So turn off the tri-ball, and now the bearing holder and the bushings are in place, and I will click on this camera preset, top front left, and fit scene. So now we have made those parts, so it's time to save. Click on save. Now it's time for us to make a piston and orbit the camera in this direction, and we select the cover and right click and we click on hide selected, so we can see the crankcase, and orbit the camera a little bit more like this, and then we right drag a cylinder and drop it in the center of the inner hole, and drop it there, and then we click on drop as part, and we will change the diameter a little bit, click into IntelliShape mode and left drag this handle, and we will try to get the right diameter. Well, there are several ways to do it. You can try to find a quadrant on that edge, but that is not that easy. We will do it in another way. I will undo that and click to IntelliShape mode and right click on the IntelliShape and edit cross section, and then we will select hide edited parts so we can see the other parts, and then we will click on project command and project this edge to the cross section, and then we press escape, select this circle and delete it because we don't need it, and we click on finish, and we got the right diameter on the piston. And we will double click on the height handle, we change that to 30, click OK. We have more work to do on the piston, and this time we will use the spin command because we will add more material on the piston, on the top of the piston, and we go to the feature group and click on this arrow and spin wizard, and then we click in the center of this face. On the pop-up menu we see add material, that's right, next, and 360 degrees, and select along the selected surface, along that surface, and select it, next, and finish. Continue without change, okay. And we will also see the piston, so we select display all because we want to project the edge to the cross section. That's why I selected display all. Now we choose the project, click on this edge, and project the circle to the cross section, press escape, and we left drag this extended line to the center, to the origin. And now we will begin to draw. We will adjust the camera a little bit so we see it a little better, and we choose 2-point line, click on that end, and we drag the line perpendicular to the first line, and then we right click, type 2, enter, and well, I should have chosen the polyline. I will choose the polyline command, and I will click on the endpoint and drag perpendicular in that direction, right click, type 8, enter, that direction, perpendicular, and right click, and 9.3, and perpendicular to that, in that direction, right click, and 5, enter, and then in that direction, right click, and we type 4, and to the y-axis, and to the start point, and we press escape. And now we will do some fillets on this profile in these corners, and we will use the fillet command. We select the fillet command, click on it, and then we click on this corner and drag, and you can also, and then you will right click, change that radius to 1, enter, and click and drag, and you can also type in the property browser, type 1 and enter, and do the same in this one, drag, click and drag and type 1, and this one too, click and drag and type 1 and then enter, and we have made the profile. So we click on finish, and then we have add material, so it will look like this. The piston is almost finished, but there is one more thing to do, and that is there will be a shaft attached to that piston. You can call it a piston rod, and we'll go through that hole, and to see inside the crankcase we have to do like this. We select the crankcase, and then we click on tools, and in the operation group we find section part, or section tool, section part assembly. We will use that command, click on it, and then to the left we see the settings for the section tool. We can choose in what plane we will place the section plane, and we choose parallel to face, click on that, and click on this button, define section tool, click on it, and then we will choose this face. We will place the section plane on this face, and then we turn on the tray ball, and we left drag this handle a little bit like so, and when the axis is selected we right click on the center handle, click on to center point of this hole. We turn off the tray ball and click on apply, and we have a section of the crankcase. We select the section plane, right click on it, precise mode, we select that, and right click again, and we click on hide. Now you can select inside the crankcase. If you don't use the precise mode, you won't be able to select inside, it's just visible for you. So now we will continue. We will place a cylinder in the center of the piston, left drag, drop it in the center, double click on, and now it's time for us to save the work.